Hello, greetings from somewhere deep in my basement. I greet you. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Tuesday. I'm starting to try to do this like on a weekly thing, just checking in with everybody, saying hey. It's Tuesday. I have not gotten. I'm seeing if I've gotten a notification that I'm live. Okay, here I am. Yes, it's happening. This is happening. It's real. It's real. How are you guys? What's going on? What's not going on? I am. Oh, see, I've got the music going here. Okay. Too excited. I'm just too excited. No, I was just telling Rob, and a shout out to Rob Hicks, my producer. He is behind the scenes. He's with Hicks Video, and he produces this for me. We've kind of worked together on a few things, but he's the guy I always go to if I need video help or editing help or anything really. I ask Rob. I'm like, Rob, what do I do? How do I do that? Because I'm like simple editor. I'm not, some of these people are like brilliant at it. I'm not one of those people. That's not my gift. I have other gifts, just like you guys have other gifts. But I was telling him that it looks like it's gonna storm here. So if it gets all patchy, it's because it's about to storm here in Colorado. And sometimes we get crazy hail. I don't know if you guys get hail, but we get some hail. Some real hail. Okay, anyways, how's everybody doing? Great. I'm so glad you're on. I'm going to run down a few stories that kind of caught my eye. And then I always try to end with some kind of encouragement, something that God's kind of placed on my heart. So let's get started. Let's just do this. So the first thing I want to talk about today is, sadly, 2 boys in China dropped dead, no longer alive, after wearing masks in gym class. Okay, so you guys know how I feel about the mask thing. As far as the mask thing is concerned, I completely disagree with mask mandates because I love freedom. And mandates are force. And force is the opposite of freedom. So when you're being forced to do something, it's not freedom. And I completely disagree with them. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. But we're in a world right now in our country where governors are mandating masks, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because you feel like your freedom to choose what you put on your body and what you do is being taken away. And that's a violation, right? That's a violation of our constitutional rights, being told what to wear. I mean, soon the virus can now enter through your eyes. So are they going to say, hey, you need to wear goggles? We are mandating goggles. We're mandating eyewear. And hey, it can get in through your skin. So if you're going to go out in public, we're going to mandate you fully clothe yourself in some kind of plastic garb. I don't know where this stops. And when you read about 2 kids dying from wearing a mask, and people are like, well, yeah, you shouldn't exercise with the mask on, Rachel. I mean, who does that? People do that. When I go out for a run or go out to bike, I see so many people out and about wearing masks. Now, you can have as many scientists as you want, as many doctors as you want, come at me, send me all these articles that it's totally fine to wear a mask. It doesn't impact your oxygen intake. You're totally being dramatic, but you cover your mouth and your nose, your airways. I mean, to me, it's just common sense. If you cover your airways, you cover your nose, cover your mouth, it's going to impact your oxygen intake. I don't need a scientist. I don't need a doctor to tell me this. I can't even believe that it's so like common knowledge to me. Like, remember when you were a kid and you're like wrestling? And I mean, I would always be wrestling with my siblings and somebody would like put a blanket over me and I'd be like, oh, I can't breathe, panic. I mean, when you cover your airways, it impacts your oxygen intake. That's just common sense. And I'm shocked people are like, no, the American Lung Association says that it doesn't. And I saw this video of this guy that wore like 10 masks on his face, and he said he wasn't impacted at all by oxygen. He said he's fine. And I'm a nurse. I wear a mask 12 days and 12 hours a day, and it doesn't. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you send me. You cover your mouth. You cover your nose. It's affecting your breathing. I mean, this isn't rocket science. Okay. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know this. My heart goes out to the families that lost their 2 children because they were wearing a mask in gym class. Huge concern as a mom. I know that I think it's the governor of Kansas just recently mandated children wear masks, which is just the dumbest thing in the world. I completely and wholeheartedly disagree with children wearing masks. 100%. 100%. And I'm telling you, if our governor mandates kids wearing masks, I will strongly consider keeping my kids home. You might see less of me if that happens, but my kids come first and they're my number one priority. And I think that we have no idea the psychological impact this has on children. We're doing all these mandates. We're making up all these rules, not for once considering how this psychologically impacts a child. And as a mom, my number one concern is their mental and physical health. And covering their airways impacts their physical health, and covering them with a mask, I guarantee you, impacts their mental health, because it's fear. You know, it's a fearful thing. There's something out there that you can't see, child, my sweet darling, that could kill you. Just a constant reminder. And I think that's extremely unhealthy. And my heart goes out to the kids that have to endure this, because I'm a mama bear, man, not my children, not mine. Nope. So anyways, next story I'd like to cover is, I'm on Twitter yesterday, just scrolling through Twitter, probably spend too much time on Twitter. And Jamel Hill, I think that's how you say her name, Jamel Hill. She worked for ESPN for like 12 years. Okay. And she's a huge activist now. She hates Trump. She hates him. And she came out just blatantly yesterday and said, if you vote for Donald Trump, you are a racist. You have no wiggle room. Well, Jamel Hill's mom voted for Trump in 2016. So that's got to be uncomfortable family dynamic right now, because she pretty much just called her mom a racist, which, I mean, I think sometimes my family gatherings are uncomfortable. And that's got to be a little awkward. I mean, to straight up call your parent a racist. It's just, anyways. So let's talk about this. You're racist if you vote for Trump. You're a racist. That's what the Democrats are now saying. You're a racist. Well, I'd like to know, what are you if you vote for the party of the KKK, the party of Jim Crow, the party of slavery, the party of abortion, the party of Marxism? What does that make you if you vote for that party? Because that's the Democrat Party at this point. The Democrat Party is the party of KKK, Jim Crow, slavery, abortion, 247 Black babies killed every single day by Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood funds the Democrat Party. They fuel that. Planned Parenthood, founded by Margaret Sanger, a eugenist who wanted to get rid of Black people. Okay, she's a monster. She specifically targeted inner cities to put Planned Parenthoods in to kill Black babies. Funded by the Democrat Party, Planned Parenthood. They're like 2 in 1. They go together. So what does that make you? I'm just curious. If I'm a racist for supporting Trump, what are you if you support the party of KKK, Jim Crow, slavery, abortion, and Marxism? What does that make you? It's crazy. And it's just simply untrue. I love it. I absolutely love when I hear a Democrat say, well, Trump's racist. He's a racist. And I'm like, okay, how is he racist? How is he racist? Well, he's just, he says some racist stuff sometimes. Well, what kind of racist stuff has he said? Well, I read this Vox article, and I'm going to send it to you. And it really breaks down all the racist things that he said and done. And I'm like, well, okay. So I read this Vox article that these people keep sending me of Trump's racist comments. First of all, they always bring up Charlottesville. Charlottesville, when Trump said there are some people here that are on the good side, that he was talking about the people that didn't want to tear down statues, people that want to preserve history. They take that quote completely out of text, saying that Trump said that there's white supremacists there that are good people. Trump has denounced the KKK. He's denounced white supremacism. He's denounced Nazis. He's denounced it all. And when he said that there's some good people in Charlottesville during that whole crazy riot moment, he was referring to the people that don't want to tear down the statues, because when you tear down statues, you remove history. You remove what's happened. You remove, and most of these statues, just so you know, they're statues of Democrats, and there was never a party switch. And I've already talked about this, and I could do it again and again and again, because some people think that there was a party switch. Never happened. Give me the date and time of the party switch. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Why? Because it never happened. Ever. Well, in 1964, there was this election, and no. I talked about 1964. We've already talked about it. We've already gone there. Barry Goldwater was not a racist, okay? Just because he did not vote for the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He didn't vote for the Civil Rights Act of 1964 specifically because it took away states' rights, okay? Barry Goldwater actually tried to desegregate the Senate cafeteria. So they always point to that one moment. And then when you start to look into who Barry Goldwater was, he's actually a really great guy. He just wanted states to decide whether they were going to desegregate and do all these different things. He thought it was up to the states, because that's what conservatism is. It's leaving the rights up to the states. Like right now, we're witnessing, well, why doesn't Trump come in and just send in the National Guard and because if Trump sent the National Guard in, people, to all these crazy cities, these Democrat-run cities right now, Oregon, Seattle, I mean, pick a city that's going nuts right now. It's run by a Democrat, okay? Just to point that out. If you see chaos, if you see fires, if you see looting, if you see total and complete insanity out there, if you see statues being toppled over, not happening in Republican, conservative-run cities. You see crazy crime, you see shootings, you see children being murdered for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not happening in conservative cities, not happening in Republican cities. Well, why doesn't he send in? Because these mayors want the chaos. They want this chaos. They think it's awesome. They think that this chaos is going to help them win in 2020. So they're pushing this. They want the chaos. They want what little do they know is anyone that with a brain, anyone that can think, looks at this chaos and says, conservatives have no take in this. Republicans have they're not involved in any of this. All of this nuttery you see right now, there's no Republicans involved. There's no conservatives involved. Look at it. It's Democrats. This is what they want. They want anarchy. They want crazy. They want crime. Because they think it'll help them in 2020. How sick and twisted is that when you really think about it? You're willing to sacrifice lives because you want to get Trump out of office. So you're allowing these crazy things to happen in your cities? So, Jamel Hill. Enough with Jamel Hill. Okay. But do tell me, what are you if you vote for the party of KKK, slavery, Jim Crow, abortion, and Marxism? Just leave it in the comments below so I can know, what does that make you? Next up, oh gosh. Okay, so the Missouri couple, you guys remember this Missouri couple, right? The McCloskeys. I think that's is it the McCloskeys, Rob? I think it is. They defended their home because Black Lives Matter just became walking up. They're in the private community, tore down their gate. I showed you a picture a couple weeks ago of their gate that was wrought iron. I mean, an iron gate, completely twisted and torn down. And they were just peacefully protesting, though. I mean, come on. I mean, when you peacefully protest, you tear down iron gates and you trespass. That's what you do. So Black Lives Matter decided to go up into this couple's property tear down their gates and threaten them. They felt threatened. So they go and they get weapons to defend their home. And now the circuit attorney in Missouri, I think it's St. Louis area, she has charged them with, let's see what she charged, unlawful use of a weapon. Okay. Totally political, because when you find out further, there's the Castle Doctrine. The Castle Doctrine in Missouri, it's a law. So it's a law that justifies deadly force. You're allowed to use deadly force according to this Castle Doctrine in Missouri if you feel like you're in order to defend your home. So obviously, Kim Gardner, the circuit attorney, has not read the Castle Doctrine, or she's just completely ignoring it. And she's charged this couple with a federal crime of unlawful use of weapons, which is just, it's ridiculous. It's completely political. And recently the Missouri AG has come out and said, I'm going to dismiss these charges, because that's just ludicrous. And it's embarrassing that this Kim Gardner is trying to politicize this couple for rightfully defending their home. I'm telling you, if I have people come walking up to my house screaming, yelling, tearing down things, I'm going to get my weapon and defend my home, because we're Americans. We have the Second Amendment. We're allowed to defend our property. End of story, period. There's no more debating this. So shout out to the Missouri AG for saying, now, Kim Gardner, circuit attorney, you're wrong. You're wrong. So, okay, really quick. Next, okay, this is just my favorite. I get this incredible amount of joy when I see this woman take the stage. She's a sister in the Lord. She is a Christian. She's a believer. She's spirit-filled. Her name is Bevelyn Beatty. I want to have her on my show. So if you guys can talk to her, I wrote her, but she's probably getting flooded with thousands of messages, and she might not have time for me, but I would love to talk to her. I would love to have her on my show. I would love to meet her. I'm like a fan now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get excited every time she puts a new video out. I get excited because it encourages me, another believer. It encourages me to keep fighting, to keep swinging, to keep speaking up, to not be intimidated, to be bold, to be courageous, to not bow to this crazy leftist, Marxist, communist ideology that is trying to overtake our country right now. And I love her. I love her. Bevelyn Beatty. Let's roll a clip. The latest thing she just did is she goes to, Bill de Blasio, Mayor Bill de Blasio. He decided to paint a mural, Black Lives Matter, on right in front of Trump Tower. And Bevelyn Beatty had something to say about that. So I have a
I want to see this. They're looting for black people. They do it for black people, right? Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. You want to defund the police for black people. You're lying. No, we're not standing with Black Lives Matter. We want our police. Refund our police. Refund our police. Y'all don't care about black lives. Y'all don't care about black lives. Refund the police. Refund the police. They say Black Lives Matter. They say Black Lives Matter, right? They say Black Lives Matter. Oh, they don't care about black lives. They don't care about black lives. They don't care. 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 Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. They don't care about black lives. They lie. They liars. They're liars. They say they care about black lives. They're saying to defund the police. All for the sake of black people. The Blasio doesn't care about black people. The Blasio doesn't care. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Refund the police. Fuck you. Refund the police. You devil. You devil. Refund the police. 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 Jesus matters. Jesus matters. We will never support Black Lives Matter. We will never support it. 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 We will support it. some cars. Where y'all at? When they're killing each other. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? Where y'all at? They don't care.
Good job. So I love her. I absolutely love her. She is somebody on Twitter. I was trying to find it. They said, describe Bevelyn Beatty in one word, and my word for her is Christian. That is walking it out. It's like, it reminded me. I'm serious. It reminded me of when Jesus went into that temple. He fashioned a whip. He put shards of glass, bone at the end of it, and he went in there and he started wheeling it. He had a righteous anger. And I think too much of the church right now has been passive. We've been like, I don't know what to do. That's what you do. Be like Bevelyn, be like Jesus. You stand up to this stuff. When you see an unrighteousness taking place, like the Black Lives Matter, it's a communist Marxist movement, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. When you see something like that taking place, you have to call it out. And this is exactly what this woman does. She's not intimidated. She's not scared. She's bold. She's bold like a lion, man. I mean, she goes right after it and she calls it out. And we need more people like her to rise up in this time. More people to call it out, to be vocal, to take action, just like this. I mean, Jesus took action. He didn't just sit there and pray and it's okay. And, he took action. When he saw an injustice taking place, he took action. Bevelyn Beatty taking action. And sometimes it gets messy and sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but the righteous take it by the kingdom suffers violence and the violent take it by force. I don't know what verse that is, but sometimes we have to be active. We have to be somewhat aggressive. We cannot lay down and let these people continue to take ground. And I've had some people upset at me lately because I said I'm voting for Trump in 2020 because I'm not a communist. And I mean that. I'm voting for Trump in 2020 because I'm not a communist. And I know it's hard to handle right now, especially if you're a Democrat, but the Democrat Party has been infiltrated by a left-wing socialist communist agenda. And that is prevalent when you study the Black Lives Matter movement. Do Black lives matter? Yes. Do white lives matter? Yes. Do Asian lives and Native American lives and Indian lives? Yes, every life matters because Jesus matters and Jesus paid the price for every single race, color, ethnicity. But it's extremely important to know that there's a difference between saying Black Lives Matter and supporting this Black Lives Matter movement. This movement is supported by Marxists. It is founded by women that are Marxists. They're self-proclaimed Marxists. I'm not making this up. In 2015, one of the co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement self-described herself as a trained Marxist. Okay? A Marxist is somebody that is a communist. A communist is someone that wants total and complete government takeover. Okay? They want to read the Communist Manifesto, study communism, study Karl Marx. Karl Marx, ironically, was a racist. So it's bizarre. This is not about race, okay? This is about an ideology. This has nothing to do with race. This has to do with these people that are trying to disguise themselves as, we want equality and all that stuff. But behind the scenes, they are Marxist, trained Marxists, self-avowed Marxists. I'm not making this up. This is their words. We have to be very clear here. This is their words. We also have a picture here of the Black Lives Matter women, these women with Nicolas Maduro, who is the president, not really, of Venezuela, okay? He's ruined Venezuela, okay? People are eating their pets and burying their loved ones in their backyards in Venezuela. This is a guy that promised equality. He was a socialist. He was, hey, everything's gonna be fair. We need to take from the rich. We need to make an even playing field. Exactly the talking points that the Democrat Party talks. This is exactly what Nicolas Maduro did. And he destroyed the country of Venezuela, which was once an oil-rich, prospering, thriving country. Now it is like, it's desolate. It's disgusting. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. You can't find food. You have to wait in line to get food in Venezuela. It's tragic what this man has done to that country. And here, right next to him, you have the founders of the Black Lives Matter standing with Nicolas Maduro. This isn't me making this up. Right there, founders of Black Lives Matter standing, doing the fist with Nicolas Maduro, a communist dictator that has destroyed the country of Venezuela. This is what we're up against. The Black Lives Matter movement funneled millions and millions and millions of dollars to the Joe Biden campaign. And if you for 1 second think that Joe Biden is not going to adhere to what the Black Lives Matter, these leaders want, you're a fool. He is a puppet. He is a puppet on a string, just ready. He's the Manchurian candidate, guys. He is ready to be puppeteered by this leftist Marxist socialist movement. And we need to be vigilant. We need to be aware. And we need to vote for Donald Trump because we don't want communism. I'm not joking when I say that. People are like, oh, that's just so extreme, Rachel, to say that. I mean, that's just taking it to the next level. I can't believe you're now saying you're a communist if you don't vote for Trump. I'm saying that you're going to be supporting a communist ideology and a Marxist movement that has infiltrated the Democrat Party. They have been infiltrated, whether they knowingly have surrendered or whether they're being infiltrated and unaware, but they are being infiltrated right now, and they are being led to the far left communist side of thought. And it's scary to witness. Under communism, you lose your freedom. You lose your rights. You lose your ability to choose what's best for you and your family. Your individual liberty gone under socialism and communism. So if anything else, oh, I hate Trump, I can't stand him, whatever. Do you love communism? Do you want communism? Because that's the alternative. Honestly, if you would have asked me back in January what our country would look like right now, I would say you're lying to me. That's not possible. No one can tell me not to go to church. That's crazy. No one can tell me who I can gather with and who I can't gather with. This is America. You're crazy. Nobody can tell me what I have to put on my face and what I have to wear. That's nuts. That's not going to happen. That's crazy. If you can't sit there and think of how much ground has been taken from the individual since February, it's shocking, and it should disturb every single person watching. And I'm telling you, if we don't put a stop to this, if we don't rise up on November 3rd and take our country back, we're in for a scary ride. And I know that's what a lot of people are feeling like now. Well, Rachel, what do you think is going to happen? I was on a prayer call this morning as I closed this thing down. And I think a lot of people are struggling. Like, what does this mean? What does this look like? Like, here we are in the midst of this pandemic. It's crazy. You don't know what's coming. We're always used to a timeline, right? We're always used to like this, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. This is what next month looks like. This is what we're, going to be doing for the holidays. Like, you kind of plan it out, and there's no planning, and it makes you really uncomfortable, right? It makes you like, it's exhausting, man. It's like, oh God, I don't know what tomorrow looks like. It's just, here we are. And it drains you. It drains you. It's drained me. And I can tell you right now, we can make it to November 3rd, right? We can pace ourselves. We're running a race right now, guys. We are running a race, but we can pace it right now to November 3rd. Set your pace, run the race, do what you can to get the vote out, to run strong to November 3rd. And we give it our all, right? And when we wake up on November 4th, and whatever happens, right? I'm believing for a Trump win. I'm praying for a Trump win. But regardless of what happens, we know that Jesus is Lord of Lords. We know that that he will never leave us or forsake us. And then we will start whatever new race we encounter on November 4th. But for right now, we can run this race, guys. We've got 3 months to go. Pace ourselves. Don't grow weary. Take some time off. Rest. That's something that God has really pressed on my heart, is to rest. So actually, in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be going off the grid. I'm going to be getting alone with God, spending time in his word, reading just nothing political, just checking out. You can follow me on Instagram. I'll probably post some pictures there, but taking some time off, because it's so important as we head into this final battle here until November 3rd, that we are energized and ready to fight. So I encourage you, even Jesus, even God, he took a day off. And so I think it's extremely important for all of us to do this, especially those out there that are vocal, that are swinging away, that get hit, to take time off. So with that said, I'm going to be signing out. I just want to thank you guys so much for your support, to my supporters, my Patreon supporters, my Facebook supporters. Thanks again to Rob Hicks. Just such a blessing. Hicks video, check them out. And we will talk soon, you guys. Thank you so much. Keep up the good fight. Run this race.